Capricorns, hi, how you doing? I hope you're alright. It's been a while. Took a bit of a break, but I'm back now. I'm going to pull you some cards, my loves. We're going to have a quick look at past energies, current energies, where these energies might be taking you. Bearing in mind everyone has free will, you and other people, okay? We're not here for hard and fast predictions, especially not in a collective reading. Yes, some bits may apply to you, some bits may not. Check out your other placements if they don't, but honestly, if whatever I choose to title this video gets your attention or ends up in your feed, I'm sure there's something in it for you. Maybe it won't make sense straight away, maybe it'll make sense in a few weeks, a few months. Who knows, Capricorn? Let's give you some cards. Past energy for Capricorn. It's a general reading, okay? I'm not pulling on any particular area of life. It's a lot of cards. I'm going to take these for the future. I'm going to take these for current. And this one. Am I going to take this one? I'll take that one. Future energy for Capricorn, please. Oh, so many people are in this Hanged Man energy at the moment. I'm getting kind of... well, including Virgos, and I'm a Virgo. So yeah, alright, I feel it. I feel you. Yeah, the readings have been quite similar actually this time around. It's a bit... well, maybe it's not that curious. I don't know, Capricorn. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been learning a lot about the Hangman recently. Three of Pentacles came out kind of crossed by a Four of Pentacles. Alright, okay. Interesting energy for your overall energy. Underneath the deck, the bottom of the deck, we've got the Ten of Wands. Smack bang in the middle of your read, we've got the Ace of Wands. It's intriguing, isn't it? So this Ten of Wands feels a bit buried. We know, which is often the case at the bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, and you've even got the Four of Swords underneath that. And then another ace, the Ace of Cups. I feel like something needs to come full circle for you, Capricorn. But I think it's something that deep down you recognise, and that recognition will come with a lot of healing, hence the Four of Swords, but yeah, deep down you recognise it, deep down. Because you've definitely got that new beginning energy available to you. It is a bit confusing the way this is smack bang in the middle of your read, but the need for the ending is buried. It's almost like you are starting something new without quite closing off an old project or whatever. Project, a job, something like that. It's sort of like full steam ahead, but it's like the way would be a lot smoother and the path would be a lot clearer if you put something down. I often get that with the Ten of Wands at the moment. Something has to give. Something has to give. I do think the Ten of Wands often at the moment is telling us, you know, if there's any way you can let go. I mean, I know it's hard when you've got a lot of responsibilities, and you wouldn't call them responsibilities if they, you know, if you weren't responsible for them, but you see all these wands feel like responsibilities that are weighing you down, but it feels like something has to give, so that if there's any way you can put any of those wands down, it feels like you should do that. But, you know, I know it's easier said than done. sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees with these things, and when you think about it, you can find little ways to just ease the load a little bit. But I hate sort of sitting here telling you this, because I know when you're in the thick of it, those circumstances, really, you can just feel like, no, there's just no way for me to change my circumstances. But I think there is, with this in the middle of your reading. I think there is, because I just see this as such spark and verve and newness. Yes, newness. But it just comes after the closing off of this. Right, I've spoke about your overall energy of the read for ages. I'm trying to keep to a time limit. It doesn't always go well. Past energy. I'm going to do a summary of each row, and then we're going to go back and dig. That's the way I've chosen to do my readings now. I like it. I like getting underneath the surface. It just, this, I guess doing a quick overview like that kind of gives you the opportunity to work out if it's your reading as well, which I think is quite nice. And then we can dig deeper, and yeah, it makes sense. Seven of Swords reversed in your past, Eight of Wands reversed, Tower reversed. Some sort of delay in communication I'm getting with the Eight of Wands in reverse, and really with the Seven of Swords to a certain extent, actually, because the Seven of Swords is a holding back. It could be something. This could all be within you, actually, in a strange sense. I mean, I wouldn't normally say that for the Eight of Wands. I'd normally say it's quite external energy, but especially with the Tower reversed, this does all feel quite internal to you, Capricorn. Like holding some part of yourself back from yourself, and just delaying. It's almost like you know you've got to face it, and it's there niggling you, but you're sort of putting it off. But really, with the Tower, there is only so long you can put it off. The universe tends to be forcing our hands somewhat when we get the Tower, less so when it's in reverse. It could be either. I mean, I do often say with the Tower in reverse, it still is that internal energy, so can be you finally dealing with what you need to deal with before the universe steps in and kind of hits you in the face with it. But I don't know, it feels like it could have gone either way here. We'll see when we dig. Current energy, Seven of Wands, that Ace of Wands, Six of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, I think this reversed Six of Pentacles is part of what possibly needs to be let go of with this Ten of Wands that's weighing you down. Yeah. This is a situation where you're not standing up for your needs, simply put. With the Seven of Wands is coming through quite a lot at the moment as standing up for your needs. It feels like a bit of a difficult environment for you to stand up for your needs currently. In fact, I would say it probably feels impossible. I don't know if that's an accurate representation of the situation, but it certainly feels impossible. Certainly feels impossible. Sometimes it isn't safe to stand up for our needs, Capricorn. And I guess in that situation you have to leave. Sometimes it can be worked on. We'll dig. Your future energy, Hanged Man and the Wheel. A pause, and it's like a bit of a paradox. This came up with the Taurus reading in the same place, and I started digging under this Hanged Man and saying, like, well, how do we get out this energy? And I realised that was completely the wrong question to ask, and it feels the same here. You might want to force yourself out of this pause, this state of suspension, this kind of period where it feels like just nothing's happening, and it kind of also feels like you're not making any headway, but I think you are. But it's internal and it's not obvious. But the way the wheels come up next to it, it's sort of saying just the more you accept it, the quicker it'll pass, which is a bit paradoxical. That's what I'm getting. Why did the 3 and the 4 come out like this? me show you them upright. I like for people to see the cards because there might be just stuff, you know, that resonates with you. I think they're oh, I don't know. They look like daffodils at first glance, but then not, I don't think. Bright yellow flowers anyway. I do find this Three of Pentacles card fascinating because normally Three of Pentacles is about collaboration and she's just there on her own. Holding back from a collaboration. It feels like holding back from a collaboration. Four of Pentacles energy is holding back. Yeah. Something like that. We'll see when we get there again and dig. Okay. What questions shall we ask about this past energy for you then that might bring you some clarity or help you? A holding back, a delay in communication, radical change. When this conversation happens, which is either a conversation within yourself, or it's another energy not holding back anymore, it brings about a radical transformation. It feels quite intense. So what's going to be I don't know, it's like something was coming at you at your past energy here, so let's ask that. What is it? What is it that, what news or energy is the Eight of Wands bringing in after a delay, after a holding back? What is that? What is that? Four of Wands. The World. It's another card of an ending. Got the Seven of Swords again on the bottom of the deck. I just chose to look at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I'm feeling a sort of sense of freedom in this Four of Wands, which is interesting. I often get freedom from the world as well, I mean, because she's just naked and I don't know, it feels like she feels quite liberated or something. Freedom. It's like an ending here brings you a sense of freedom, but you hid that from yourself for a long time, or possibly another energy hid this from you, that they wanted this sense of freedom. It could be the thing that could be coming to an end for a lot of you could be a marriage, because we've got the Four of Wands out, or at least a union of some sort, a relationship of some sort, but it's like you didn't want to, or someone didn't want to acknowledge the sense of freedom that they anticipated this ending bringing. Does that make sense? Let's get under this Tower. I don't see an ending here in the past, to be clear. I just see what I've said. It's more the feelings about an ending. I don't actually really see an ending at all yet, but yeah. Oh, it feels like something that's still being contemplated here in the future. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that it comes to an end at all, but recognising these feelings is so important, I think. You have to be honest with yourself. You know, if you're moving forward with some doubt, then you have to know that you're moving forward with some doubt. There's no just point pretending you're moving forward that everything's fine, because burying that in and of itself will bring about an ending anyway. That sort of dishonesty in one way or another is going to, well, cause a distance anyway. Hope that makes sense. Let's go underneath this Tower. The Capricorn, please. Okay. Yeah. It takes a lot of strength to look at these feelings within yourself. And it does, and that's a societal thing, Capricorn. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Another card of a new beginning, but it's reversed. That's what I'm saying. I'm not quite seeing it. But like the energy's there for you to take. So this was clarifying the Tower. Yeah, I think we just need to acknowledge actually that feeling these feelings, talking about these feelings. Oh God, sorry, what's going on with there? It's not really like. So I don't think it's something most of us have seen modelled. Not by our parents, not in films, not really anywhere. So it's like. You do need that strength to be able to approach it, I think. And this card talks about loss. And I just feel what's being lost here is a sort of fake serenity. But it's a fake serenity that you can convince yourself feels really good. And it's like it's really hard to let go of that. But it feels fake. It doesn't feel real. I wonder how you're managing that. I mean, of course, it's easy to manage that, but I asked that question because I'm wondering what it is that, you know, what is the barrier to getting out that energy? What's the barrier to getting out that energy? What's the barrier to getting out that energy of fake serenity? Feels like a useful question to ask. I don't know. Nine of Pentacles, Daughter of Pentacles. So it's what I've already said. It's what I've already said. Because it's so new to you. The barrier is that it's so new and unfamiliar. And it's sort of something that you feel like you have to do all on your own. And that sort of scares you. It's like you don't know where to turn to get any help with this. Because the only person that has the whole context of the issue is you. And that feels scary. I understand. I know, yeah. Let's dig onto this current energy anyway. I'm just going to leave these up here. I don't really know what I'm putting that under because that was very much a side question. Yeah, we really got sidetracked there, I guess. Well, it's not really sidetracked. It's more like underneath, undertracked. I cracked myself up. God, I hope I'm still making sense. This was under the Tower though, so I'm going to put that there, and this was under this. Kind of, yeah. Just so I can keep the energies in place, if that makes sense. Right, current energy. New beginning. It's like, yeah, forging ahead with a new beginning even though you've not closed other things off. I don't know. It's trying to start something new even though you've not closed other things off. It literally could be an affair for some of you. That sort of energy, you know, I tried to give examples of the energy, but obviously my examples might not hit for everyone. What other example can I think of? I don't know, it could be on a very, well, on a more surface level, I suppose. Starting to knit another blanket even though you haven't finished the last blanket. That sort of thing. So people are afraid of standing up for their needs here. One person, a person. You, another person. I feel like it's probably you, Capricorn, being afraid to stand up for their needs, being afraid to stand up for what's fair, being afraid to like say, hi, I expect equal give and take. That is my expectation. Yeah. And these are the areas where I don't feel I'm getting it, and how can we work on that? Feels like that's unsaid. I tell you what it could be for some of you. Yeah, okay, this is what it is for most of you. It's it is little bit the energy of breaking up with someone and then getting back together with them, probably just by having sex, to be honest, with this Ace of Wands, and really failing to have a discussion about needs and expectations, to how you can actually properly fix the deeper issues. Yeah. So let's go under the Seven of Wands, because the Seven of Wands is one that, let's just ask a question actually. What's the barrier to Capricorn stating their needs? Going to get an Ace of Wands out again. It's just going to be like, yeah, Capricorn's really horny. I don't know. What's the barrier? It certainly feels like the surface barrier, but what's underneath that? Oh, Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. I mean, Seven of Pentacles, oh, it's just not wanting to do the Seven of Pentacles. The back hasn't really quite answered my question. Seven of Pentacles to me is often, well, it's what I've said. It's looking at all these. I mean, it couldn't be a more perfect card. It is looking at all these issues and saying, look, we've grown it this far. How do we grow it further? And you, Capricorn, part of how you want what you need in place to be able to grow it further is to have your needs met, and you want to meet someone else's needs. But there needs to be a discussion about that. But to me, the Seven of Pentacles represents that discussion, but it's in reverse, and it just feels hard. It feels hard work. You know, it feels overwhelming. You see, this is the thing the Seven of Pentacles in this deck tells us, though, is like baby steps, right? Baby steps. The problem is this isn't baby steps. This is jumping into bed with someone to avoid this. You see? No judgment, by the way, here. No judgment. How do you think I can translate these energies into this? You know, I've been there. I've been there. Loads of us have, right? It's fine. But, you know, the more awareness you can shine on it, I think the better. Even if that is what you're doing, right? Maybe doing that's not what's going to hurt you most. Maybe doing it without awareness is what's going to hurt you most. I mean, you can always have sex and come back to the Seven of Pentacles afterwards. Maybe. Maybe. Hopefully. Shall I leave it there for that current row? Shall I? Well, we could find out more about these needs. What needs of yours is it that you don't feel are being met? The Wheel of Fortune reversed again. Ah, a need for space and time. That connects to that Hanged Man energy. Could be on either end, could be on both ends. A need for space and time. You're scared to communicate that need. Or you're scared to hear that need being communicated to you. Because what does that feel like to you? Feels like Five of Pentacles to you, I think. Oh, wait a minute. It feels like Ten of Wands to you. Right. I think, Capricorn, you are more the person who requires the space and the time for the Ten of Wands to come out. And it feels overwhelming. So what's actually in the way of you communicating this need is the fact that really you almost lose sight of the fact that you do have this need, because you see the Chariot is slowing things down. So it's a case of, yeah, being scared to communicate this. No, sorry, I'm rambling. It's not a case of exactly being scared to communicate this need often. It's a case of becoming so overwhelmed that you've lost sight of the fact that you even have this need in the first place, my loves. That's what it is. Yeah. can we slow things down? But you can't. It's like this is underneath this. This is Capricorn saying, can we slow this down? And then on the surface, it's just overwhelm. You know, I can't see the wood for the trees. Like, I don't even know what I'm thinking. I don't even know what I'm feeling, but I'm just overwhelmed. And then you have the tendency to run instead of communicating that need because it's so overwhelming. How does this fit in with the top row, by the way? I feel like I don't know. This is the nature of collective reads. They end up a bit disjointed sometimes. It's connecting in with this, but actually I'm not having much crossover energy, which is actually very unusual for considering the way the rest of these block of reads have gone. But oh, do you know what? I don't know. I just say what I see. I hope it makes sense for you, Capricorn. Let's look at future energy for you now. So there's a state of suspension, and you or someone else, it feels like they're very eager to get out of it, but paradoxically going with the flow and accepting this pause is what's going to kind of get you out of the pause. This doesn't feel, this feels like this situation is still ongoing, if you get me. It doesn't, like, I know I did mention like you can get overwhelmed and run, but I don't think that's happened. I think it's something that's felt, but I sort of get the impression that, let's say this is a romantic situation, you know, you do have to take the energies and apply them to your life, really. When I talk about a person, you could be thinking, oh, well, that makes sense, but in terms of a job or whatever. But just so that I have a real life example to translate the energies, let's say this is a romantic situation, it does feel like you're still together, possibly living together with that Nine of Pentacles. If it was any other deck, I'd call bullshit on my own reading, but it's just this deck, that in this deck, this Nine of Pentacles has such a homely feeling. I am just getting that some of you live together, but then I started doubting myself. For some reason my thinking brain was like, but it's not the Ten of Pentacles, it's only the Nine. That deck though speaks to me in quite a different way to some of my other decks. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, it's like you're still together, but there's not much communication, and it's sort of like, I just feel the lack of communication would be easier if you'd communicated about the lack of communication, if that makes sense. Communicate, I might call your reading that. Communicate about the lack of communication. I mean, what a paradox. There's quite a few paradoxes in your read. Let's see if I'm right with that. Let's get underneath that and see if there's anything about sort of communication, or how to communicate about this sort of suspended state. Seven of Wands reversed. Oh, the World reversed. Gosh, it really is difficult, isn't it? It really is difficult, Capricorn, for you to say, like, I just need to be on my own. And that connects back to that energy of the world, which we had up here. It all connects back. And also it's that, what's creeping back into the read is that energy of, if this was over, I just think I'd feel so relieved. There's that energy. And given the questions I was asking, I really do feel like Spirit is strongly saying that is something else you need to be honest about, and that is something else you need to communicate about. But it's very hard for you because you're in this Ten of Wands energy, so how do you even... It's like you need the time and space that you need to be able to articulate that, but in a sense you need to be able to articulate that in order to get the time and space that you need. Tricky. Yeah. So that sort of thing can happen, can't it? But I suppose it's like, even if when it happens, say the first time or the second time or the third time, it sort of does get in that paradoxical spiral, at least if you recognise that that's what's happened, then you can put in a plan for next time, can't you? You can put in a plan for next time that pattern comes up again. That sort of needing space and time but feeling unable to communicate it. 10 of Wands. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I mean, I think that's what I'm supposed to say for you, so I'm trying to say it. Like, what I suppose what I'm trying to say is it's a horrible situation, but I don't necessarily think it means everything needs to be written off, because I think it can be quite normal, and I think it's a case of saying, right, well, if this happens again, how are we going to deal with it better? Yeah. And that's 7 of Pentacles. That's 7 of Pentacles shit. That really is. And, you know, your 7 of Pentacles is kind of under a sexy Ace of Wands, so I don't know. I understand the appeal of that, truly I do. But, yeah. I don't feel like I've done much with this. Collaboration. This might be some other area of your life completely, to be honest, Capricorn. It's obviously come up for a reason for some people. Oh, I'm not doing too bad for time. That's good, isn't it? 9 of Pentacles energy again. King of Pentacles reversed. A lot of Pentacles. Oh, in fact, they're all Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles and King of Pentacles reversed does feel very similar. Do I collaborate? Do I go it alone? Do I collaborate? Do I go it alone? 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is a very independent energy. Did I say that already? I don't know. 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles, very independent, very independent. 3 of Pentacles, not so much. Balance between the two. It's come under the 6 of Pentacles. It's a balance between the two. Yes, this could relate to an issue within this whole thing that we've talked about. Balance between independence and collaboration, you know. So what's collaboration in what sense? Collaboration in what sense? King of Wands. 8 of Pentacles. You could work together, hey, with this person. That seems very likely, actually, given the cards we've got. Yeah. Right, okay. So what's coming up now is like the balance between leading and sort of doing what you're told. So I find the King of Wands to be like the energy of sort of a leader. But I sort of feel like he's more working for somebody else, to be honest, in this particular context. So actually it's more like this. It's more like this should be this way around. This more goes with the 3 of Pentacles. This more goes with the 9 of Pentacles. But they're both still on their own. I think you prefer working on your own, hey? But there is some sort of sense in both these cards of working with somebody else, but sort of at a distance. But it almost feels like even working with somebody else at a distance feels really difficult for you. We've gone off on a weird tangent, have we? I don't know. Maybe it relates to this. Could, I don't know. You actually could live at quite a distance from this person. I just said that you live together for some of you. Way to go, contradicting yourself. Sorry, this is the nature of collective readings. I have to say what I see. I don't know. Or this could be a separate energy. This could be a separate energy. Oh, I did talk about an affair, didn't I? Yeah. Well, maybe. Maybe you've got other options, hey? There is the idea of sort of holding back on investing in something here. For a lot of you, I think it feels quite separate to the rest of the read. You're just going to have to take it as it resonates. I don't know. 2 kings. 2 kings. Yeah, but if this energy, if you resonate with this, there's more I could do here to try and get you some clarity, I feel. What's going on, Capricorn, here? What's going on? Holding back from investing in something. So, if it relates to this, it's a sense of holding back on creating any financial ties with this person, I think. Oh yeah, so when we were talking about the world and this sense of freedom, that financial freedom is something that's very important to you. I understand, that makes sense. But it could be that you're afraid to discuss it somehow here. Interesting. Interesting. I think I'll leave it there for you, Capricorn, to be honest. Shall I? I'm going to go to the oracles to get you a final advice card. I've not done this for any of the other signs, but I'm going to do that because I just think there's something I'm missing. Final message for Capricorn, please. Think first before you judge. Think first before you judge. Oh. But I see this as being you seeing something as a really good thing. Like, you know, I think when people say don't judge, they're more implying, oh, don't make bad judgments about people, aren't they? And that's what this card is getting across, I think. It's like, oh, come on, don't judge these witches for, you know, sitting in someone's room trying to do levitation. It's like The Craft, isn't it? That film, do you remember? But actually it doesn't... I've said all that and I'm like, actually, no. It feels like you might have initially, with this situation, judged something as being better than it was and then thought, oh, but I don't think you have invested financially yet, or how else, if that doesn't quite ring true for you in terms of investing financially, more maybe investing in building some sort of life together, maybe investing in the idea of moving in together, sort of thing. It's like initially you thought, oh, that was a good idea, but now you're like, no, I need to think about this. You do, yeah, that makes sense. You need to think about it, and a Seven of Pentacles type conversation needs to happen, whereby this stuff about needs being, you know, your needs and stuff needs to be discussed. Yeah, and there's yeah, you're just being asked to think about issues of balance between sort of independence and collaboration, and sort of leading and following, and who takes on those roles and when. And I don't think there's any right or wrong with lots of that. I mean, yeah, obviously flat out abusive dynamics are wrong, but this isn't a reading for someone in that situation. If you think you're in that situation, don't take this as your reading, please. But these other issues of balance that we've discussed, the fact that they exist, I don't think is bad. I think them existing without awareness is bad. So I'm going to leave it there, because hopefully this has done its job of shining its light on that awareness, and it's sparked things off for you, and you can take away the bits that make sense to you. And yeah, thank you for being here with me. It's been a pleasure, Capricorn. Do like the video if you got anything out of it, and if you haven't subscribed already, and you like the style of my readings, feel free to subscribe and tell your friends and all that. See you later.